Καλημέρα σας. Ίσως μπορούμε να ξεκινήσουμε. Θέλω να σας καλωσορίσω όλους στη Διμερίδα που οργανώνουμε για το μέλλον της θαλάσσιας έρευνας. Πραγματικά μας τιμά η παρουσία όλων και ιδιαίτερα των νέων ανθρώπων που βλέπουμε σήμερα, γιατί ούτως ή άλλως αυτοί είναι οι άνθρωποι που θα υλοποιήσουν αυτό που ίσως τους άξονες βάλουμε σήμερα και αύριο. Ο σκοπός λοιπόν της Διμερίδας μας, έτσι όπως έχει καταγραφεί, είναι να δημιουργήσουμε εθνικούς στρατηγικούς στόχους για το μέλλον, ώστε πραγματικά η χώρα μας να ανταποκριθεί με τον καλύτερο δυνατό τρόπο, τόσο σε εθνικό αλλά και σε ευρωπαϊκό επίπεδο. Μέσα από αυτό θα μπορέσουμε σίγουρα να δείτε, μέσα από την παρουσίαση που θα γίνει στην Διμερίδα, θα δείτε τις εμπειρίες διαφόρων προσωπικότητων που έχουν ασχοληθεί με τη θαλάσσια έρευνα, έτσι ώστε να φτιαχτεί τελικώς ένα παζλ, αν θέλετε να συμπληρωθεί το παζλ του παρελθόντος, του πού βρισκόμαστε σήμερα και το πώς θα εξελιχθεί το μέλλον. Θα ήθελα να καλέσω στο βήμα τον κύριο Mathew Kin. I would like to invite you, Mr. Mathew Kin, the representative of the cabinet of Mrs. Δαμανάκη. Η κυρία Δαμανάκη δεν μπορούσε να έρθει, γιατί είχε ένα συμβούλιο υπουργών αυτή τη στιγμή. I would like to invite Mr. King to introduce the speech of Mrs. Δαμανάκη. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I know that Mrs. Dhammanaki would have liked to have been able to be here to make this presentation to you. She would have done it in Greek, and I apologize that I have to speak in English to you today. Dear participants, Europeans, and particularly Greeks, are people with a strong tie to the sea. Our economies have always depended, and still heavily depend, on transport, sea transport, tourism, and fisheries. Fisheries are crucial to the economy of many regions. Some facts. 22 member states out of the 27 member states of the European Union are coastal states. The EU's coastline is 7 times longer than that of the United States and 4 times longer than that of Russia, even. The coastal regions of Europe account for nearly half of the EU's population and GDP. The EU is the largest marine area with 1,200 ports and has the largest commercial fleet in the world. 90% of foreign trade and 40% of internal trade are seaborne. The maritime areas under jurisdiction of the member states are larger than their land territory. And indeed, as an aside, a number of member states are asking the United Nations to review their continental shelf applications, and that in some cases would extend their seabed under jurisdiction quite substantially. The mere scale of oceans and seas has historically led people to perceive marine resources as an inexhaustible source of wealth. The exploitation of the sea has generally been limited only by the degree of technological development and by the power of natural elements. And maritime activities have increased spectacularly in recent decades. They now go from maritime transport, fisheries, and aquaculture to the use of wind and tidal energy, shipbuilding and tourism, through some newer activities, such as underwater communications cables, underwater gas and oil pipelines, and desalination plants. It is only natural to expect our activities to have a growing impact on our seas, oceans, and coasts. However, the reverse is also true. What happens in the seas and oceans has a major impact on human activities. Some effects are obvious. For example, the effect of marine life on the survival of fishermen, or the influence of ocean currents on our climate, whose effects are often felt not only by coastal communities, but also by those who live and work in the hinterland. At the same time, technological developments provide new opportunities for the sustainable and responsible extraction of the rich and largely unexplored marine resources for the benefit of mankind. To understand these changes and to anticipate future developments, to exploit future opportunities for growth, we must carefully observe both the current state of the seas and their past. European public authorities are aware of this need and currently spend a total of more than €1 billion per year to collect marine data for various purposes, either for ensuring maritime safety, for protecting coasts, searching for new biomaterials, or assessing the state of fish stocks. The protection of marine ecosystems and fish stocks in European waters cannot be addressed individually by each member state. Fish, ecosystems, and pollution ignore administrative borders. Member states' territorial waters are part of a global system that is bound together by many natural processes, such as shifts in winds, sea currents, and seasonal movements of migratory species. Therefore, the analysis of the processes that govern the present and future behavior of marine resources cannot be based solely on data collected under the jurisdiction of one country. Rather, it should be coordinated and reviewed at European level. Research is an important asset, both for European politics and the economy. However, it is very important that findings and data are disclosed in time to stakeholders. There have been cases where the Commission has learned of significant events, such as the collapse of a fish stock, an invasion of jellyfish, with significant time delay. Instead, what we need, and what you need, is advanced warnings and information provided in as close to real time as possible. So it is very important that the research capabilities of each country grow and interconnect. For Greece, a country with its own geographical and environmental features, with a rich marine ecosystem and great potential for marine energy resources like wind and waves, it is particularly important that this HCMR initiative shapes up into a long-term research strategy. The success of such a strategy will bring considerable value to European research, while also drawing benefits from the feedback of data to be collected and shared across Europe. So, in the European Union, are we heading towards real sharing of this accumulated knowledge? At least we're already making increasing efforts at all levels of the EU to create synergies among stakeholders. The key element of these efforts is a new policy that the Commission adopted last year, the Marine Knowledge 2020 framework. This initiative will enable those who use marine data to save money. This, in turn, should help stimulate innovation, reduce uncertainty, and let others benefit from research conducted elsewhere. Marine Knowledge 2020 gathers together marine data from different sources to facilitate its use. At the moment, it is difficult for companies to obtain the data they need, as these are scattered in different places. Marine Knowledge will establish a network of easily accessible, compatible, and updated data on our seas. These data will be accessible at no cost for businesses and will be an important asset for future development. The seas and the oceans can produce food, provide new jobs, provide the clean energy we need to protect the climate and maintain Europe in its leading position in the global economy. Europe needs to seize the opportunity offered by marine energy, as this can help us drastically reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. It is also an engine for dynamic and smart growth and for the creation of many high-quality jobs in the sea basins of Europe. Over the last 20 years, we have spent about 60 million euro on 42 research programs for ocean energy, with the money equally shared between research and pre-commercial demonstrations. And the support continues with a new call for the Directorate General for Energy in the European Commission, for the first time involved in supporting energy from the oceans. Another recent initiative of the Directorate General for Research and Innovation of the European Commission is being continued with a healthy and productive seas and oceans agenda. 10 large-scale energy projects from the oceans are now under evaluation for a global value of 300 million euros. The European Commission aims for a sustainable use of the seas. Sustainability implies promoting excellence in marine research and channeling technological development towards the current environment challenges and the opportunities presented by the marine environment. Greece, a predominantly sea country, can and must take the lead in this area. As the most competent institution in this field, if you prepare a comprehensive strategy for marine research, you will be able to draw from the EU funds available and to benefit from the research data of other member states, thanks to the Marine 2020 initiative. This will be a very important step towards the smart and sustainable development of an area that can certainly do a lot for the Greek and for the European economy. In today's global reality, scientific research is a prerequisite for social and economic development. Producing scientific knowledge, fostering innovation, and letting healthy national productive forces, be it Greek shipping, shipbuilding, and tourism, use that knowledge and innovation is one way to get out of the economic impasse and let this country develop to its potential. I sincerely hope the new strategy for marine research that Greece is outlining can soon bear fruit. You have the full support of the European Commission in your endeavour. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King, and thank you to Commissioner Damanaki.
I shall convey your thanks.
Thank you very much. Συνεχίζουμε.